Hi everybody, this is Andreasnest, your business coach. So over the last few weeks we've been talking particularly about this mountain here and how you created a vision to get to the top of that mountain. So what is your company going to look like when it's finished? We talked about the mission, how are you going to get there on this rocky road to get to the top of the mountain. And then we talked about the culture, the people that you have in your team that will help you get onto this mission to hit your vision. And then we said that none of that is possible without proper goals. And then we delved into these goal setting, which is quite a bit of a challenge. And we spoke about SMART goals. So setting goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic and time-bound. And that you should set goals like this that help you be quite exact about what it is you want to achieve. And then we moved on. And we then spoke about the IVVM formula, the idealization, the visualization, verbalization and materialization of your goals, which is a formula you can use to set your reticular activating system, your compass, which will then get you into the direction. Now I've got all these tools now, and we have a really clear idea of actually where we want to go with all this. But now we need to look at the goals themselves. And we usually differentiate between three different goals. We've got the long-term goals. So what's going to happen within the next 10 years? So for example, you want to create a company that's turning over 4 million, for example. And then we've got the midterm goals, so the halfway point. So in year 5, you should arrive at somewhere £2 million turnover, if you would equally grow every year. So these are your long-term and your midterm goals. But what we really need to concentrate on is our short-term goals. Okay, goals that are right in front of us, things that we need to do to get all this moving. And there's usually, first of all, the annual goal. So what is it you want to do over the next year? And so, for example, if you want to hit 4 million in 10 years' time and you want to grow equally every year the same, so you're growing by 400,000 every year over the next 10 years, you need to achieve 400,000 in your first year. Okay, so we've got our annual goal now, which is a 400,000, but we need to break that down even further. And we do this by writing ourselves an action plan. And this is something I do with my clients. Every 3 months, we break our annual goal down into 4 quarters, okay? And in this quarter, we're looking at 13 weeks during which we can achieve our first quarterly goal. So if we said that we want to achieve 400,000 this year as our annual goal, we need to break that down further into a quarterly goal. So that would be then £100,000, okay? So £100,000 turnover is our first goal for the first 90 days. And so we have this plan, and so you put in here which quarter you're working on, and I recommend you put your biggest SMART objective in the top. So that would be achieve £100,000 turnover within the first quarter. So that would be our SMART objective. And then you've got 5 slots here, okay? And these slots all have 13 weeks next to them. So in here you would put your first goal, and so you need to think back now, and in order for you to achieve £100,000 turnover, which you haven't got at the moment, what do you need to do? Okay, well, perhaps we need to create a lot more leads. So we need to start with a lead generation campaign. And that could be, for example, a simple mail phone campaign. So you then think about here that you create this first goal. So what is it in the first week I need to do to get this goal going? Well, I need to sit down and perhaps decide who my target market is. And that is an action for the first week. Second week could be, for example, I've now know my target market. Now I need to start putting a database together of people that sit in this target market. And the week 3 could be then start phoning this database through. And so on until you've got 13 weeks of actions that then relate to the achievement of this goal. And underneath here you put yourself a measurement. You need to measure yourself against the progress of your goal. Because obviously you want to achieve the 100,000, which means you need to have on each week the progress. So you update yourself of yes, done it, not done it, or struggling, or move it to the next week. Because remember, plans also need to change as things happen. But stick to it and update yourself in terms of how you're progressing through the chart. And then goal 2 would be, for example, something that you would say, okay, once I got the leads coming through, I need to look at my conversion rate because my conversion is not very good at the moment. So I need to make sure that I work on that. So you put actions into each week of how you're going to get a better conversion rate. And so you move on until you've got 5 goals. And all these 5 goals look at this big objective of hitting your £100,000 for the quarter. And this is how you move on. And you'll be amazed that once you've done that 1, 2, 3, 4 times throughout the year, you then achieved your annual goal, and then you do it for the second, third, fourth, and fifth year, and so on. And you will see how powerful this is and how this moves you forward towards the goals that you want to achieve. So that's it for this week from me, and I'm looking forward to speaking to you next week. Bye bye.